So this is Nutty Talk. I'm just going to go through everything that's been going on in the YWC and in WWE recently. I'm actually going to start off with this whole Spinnernet e-begging argument, because I think there is something to be said for both points of view. Although personally I would not choose to ask for money over the internet, because I feel like my own pride would say that that wouldn't be the right thing to do. As I said in a few people's videos, I would probably sell my laptop before I begged for money, but that's my own personal pride. And I think that's why a lot of people find it so offensive, is that to them it's begging is something that you do when you have no roof over your head, when you have no food, when you don't have another choice. And those of us that found it distasteful, a lot of us are the sort of people who, when they're in trouble, they will fight their way out of it. They're the sort of people who don't go and ask for help, who are the sort of people who will fight down to the last second before giving in and asking for help. Are those people any better than the people who ask for help and don't land themselves in quite so much trouble? It's 50-50. I don't think anyone should be put down for helping someone when they asked for help. I can understand where the people who feel like it's a scam would probably say to those people who gave money that they're stupid, but at the end of the day, if your friend turns up on your doorstep because they need £20 to put money on their electricity so they don't freeze to death, you're gonna give them the money. And the guys who did give Spinnernet money felt like they were helping a friend, which is fair enough. And I don't think they should be put down for that. I think that they did what they felt was right. In the same way that those of us who didn't give money were doing what they felt was right, in that they felt that perhaps needing a car wasn't the necessity that they feel is something that is important enough to make begging a viable option. I think a lot of us, it is about that. It's about the fact that our own pride would not allow us to do what he did until we were in a much more severe situation. As I said, personally, I would sell my computer before I asked for money from strangers, because that's how I am. That's how I was brought up. It doesn't mean that how he was brought up is less good. It just means they have a different perspective. And as much as I couldn't do what Spinnernet did, he felt that his need was sufficient, that he should ask his subscribers for money, which, although I don't personally agree with, I can tolerate to a certain degree. But I really don't think people should be putting down the people who are honestly the sort of people who want to help, the sort of people who will be there if you are in trouble and will help you when you are at rock bottom, because we all appreciate those people. Like I said, for a lot of my friends, I'm one of those people that they will turn up on my doorstep when they have nowhere else to go because they know I'll get them my sofa. Because that's how I am. But so I can understand from their perspective that they find it hard to have people insulting them for doing what they felt and what they feel is the right thing.
A vast virus database has been updated.
Sorry about that. Anyway, so that's the Spinnernet bobbins out of the way. Okay, so next we have Triple H versus Undertaker for the streak. Do I think the Undertaker's gonna lose? No, not really. Do I think Triple H could beat Taker? Possibly. Do I think it'll be a good match? Yeah, I think it's going to be a good to very good match. I don't think it's going to be HBK versus Taker by any stretch, but I think it will be a watchable match on the WrestleMania card. I'm quite enjoying the build-up they're doing for it. I think it's working quite well. It made me smile because a lot of people criticised Triple H calling himself and Taker the Last Outlaws, but I always remember the one bit from one of Jericho's books. He always says that, you know, if a catchphrase you use and the next week you come out, there are signs with that catchphrase on that it worked. And yeah, that happened. There were Last Outlaw signs in the audience. So obviously, even though it didn't connect to some of us, it did connect to some of the audience because they reacted to it. I am fine. I do find it interesting. I think they're doing reasonably well with it. I think the biggest problem with this whole WrestleMania build-up is that it has very much taken over Raw. There is very little on Raw that isn't about WrestleMania, which is fair enough. It's the run-up to WrestleMania. But it does seem like they've sort of gone, we've got Triple H and Undertaker and Cena and The Rock, and that's all that matters. I'll get back to that comment in just a second, but they have very much focused the entire program. Oh, and CM Punk Orton, but CM Punk Orton seems to be sort of, here's your CM Punk Orton bit, and the rest of it is going to be about that. I just kind of think, I must admit, when I was watching Raw this morning, as I didn't get to watch it last night, Daniel Bryan came out, and I sort of went, yeah, we're going to get some wrestling. And then it was over in a really short time. I was just like, I appreciate the entertainment bit, but I do want some wrestling on my wrestling shows. I mean, do we have a match that went more than 10 minutes on the entire show? It just felt very, very... It felt like you were watching a 2-hour promo. Which you don't want to watch every week. I mean, if this was the week before WrestleMania and WrestleMania was on Sunday, then yeah, fair enough. But to be doing it every week for how many weeks have we got left? It's too soon for me. I think they're over promoting it, and I think it's going to have burnt out to a certain extent by the time it gets there. I do actually really like the CM Punk Orton thing, by the way, although it is getting very much buried. I like the way they're handling it. They're doing build-up matches without doing CM Punk versus Orton, CM Punk versus Orton, CM Punk versus Orton, CM Punk versus Orton, which is handy. But in a way, it's kind of annoying that they put together the new Nexus just to have them all punted before WrestleMania. It's like, really? Is that the entire reason you put together the new Nexus? Was so that Orton can punt more? Yeah, not exactly a big fan of that. Also wasn't a big fan of the whole John Morrison Dolph Ziggler match, which was pretty much a squash on John Morrison, which is ridiculous because he is easily more talented than Dolph Ziggler, but they are, I suppose, on a semi-ish same level. But I just found that a bit sort of, I think you could have picked someone better to do that with. And yes, of course, we have The Rock and Cena. But have any of you noticed that the fact that everybody is talking about The Rock and Cena and nobody is talking about Cena and The Miz? Who are the people who are actually in the world title match? It's ridiculous. I don't understand why WWE would be putting this much emphasis on Rock Cena sparring, unless Rock is gonna interfere in the main event and cause Cena to lose and Miz to retain, which even still seems like a kind of weak payoff after all of this bitching backwards and forwards. I just think there is so much more they could do with them. I am really glad we're going to see Stone Cold at Mania. I think quite a few of the Attitude Era fans are loving the thought of having The Rock and Stone Cold in the same arena, even if it is only for one night. I like that they're bringing him in. I think it's a nice touch. I think they are desperately trying to re-grab some of the Attitude Era fans to buy into buying Mania. But it does feel a little bit weighed down. I really hope they have JR to call that match, purely because obviously the second Stone Cold's in the ring. It's always worth having JR around for. There are some very interesting ideas going for Mania, but even still, the actual card feels quite lackluster, because it's sort of, everyone seems to be a little bit sort of, yeah, that match will be alright, but there isn't anything that really stands out as, that is going to be an amazing pants-wetting match. There just isn't that to it. I think they're trying to use sort of The Rock and Stone Cold to supplement the lack of energy the matches have. Because with the build up to WrestleMania, you should be dying to watch these matches. You should be like, oh, I can't wait. And there is very little of that on this card, which is kind of worrying. I mean, I'm going to buy Mania because I always buy Mania, but I kind of think that there is a kind of ness about the card overall. I mean, even Edge versus Del Rio, hopefully they are going to add Christian in, even if it is just in a ringside capacity. I think that adds a nice touch, but it is kind of starting to feel like they're throwing in people that the older fans like purely to get them to buy the pay-per-view with very little payoff. I don't think there's actually going to be anything amazing on the card. I'm really hoping they do Money in the Bank, because I'm hoping to see John Morrison win that. But other than that, I'm kind of, it'll be alright about WrestleMania. And WrestleMania shouldn't be, it'll be alright. It should be, it's going to be fantastic. So, my question for you is, what would have to happen for you to, with the current card, without changing the card, what would have to happen to make you interested in those matches? Okie dokie, I think that's my 2 cents for the moment. Yeah, that's about it. Okay, take care, boys and girls. Bye.